Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet. Today we're going to do something different. Today I've got a couple of 4-foot spalted logs that I'm going to cut up with my 14-inch bandsaw. It's always fun cutting up logs because you never really know what's inside till you cut them. And this spalted log should be quite interesting. Now, what I've done, I've cut these in the past, but usually I cut them in half. But I find that when I cut them in half that there's more wastage. There's a couple of things that I could have done. I could have used my chainsaw. I don't like using my chainsaw, and the main reason is because it takes such a deep cut or such a wide cut, and the cut is so rough. By the time you get it planed down, you lose close to ½ an inch, and this log isn't that big that I want to lose that much wood. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut off the bottom of this. As you can see, it's sitting on a 2x6, and what I'm going to do, I need to use that to stop the log from rolling, and I'm going to attach a couple of these to the end. I'll take it over to my 14-inch bandsaw, and what I'll do is I'm going to cut off the bottom, and then I can get away from using the 2x6 because then it'll be flat on the bottom and I can use that. Okay, there's a little bit of a bump on this end, but that isn't going to hurt anything. What I'm going to do now is to remove the 2x6 off here. Then I'm going to flip it on its, I guess on its base now, and then I'll mark where I want to cut the lines from that. So there's the first side that I cut, and while you weren't looking, I cut the other side as well. I cut the back side, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this over to my planer, and I'm going to plane both edges of this so that I have a nice flat surface, and then I'm going to cut the strips from that. I've decided to set up the fence on the bandsaw. I haven't had great luck using fences ripping these logs, but this is a different bandsaw that I'm using this time, so I'm going to try this and see how it works. So let's give this a whirl. Well, there's all my lumber, and to be honest with you, my cuts weren't as straight as I hoped they might be, but there's still tons of really good lumber in here. Just look at this spalted alder. This is just gorgeous stuff. Can you imagine making some things with this? This is just beautiful stuff to work with, so I'm looking forward to that. The thing that I'm going to do different, I still have one more log to do, but I don't know if using my straight edge was the best idea. So what I'm going to do next time, and I'm telling you this because you might have something like this in the future that you want to do, rather than trying to follow the line like that, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to lay my log on a flat surface like my workbench and use my pencil and just have it on a block of wood or something and just follow it along like that, and that'll give me a nice perfect straight line, and that way, because I don't know when I was following this line if it was my pencil that was off or if it was the way the wood and the blade were cutting. So but I thought of that after I cut them all, so that's what I'm going to do with the next one. Well, it's kind of as I expected. As I was finishing up cutting that last log, my lines were not as straight, although they looked straight, but they weren't as straight as they could have been. Because look at this one here, when I put that straight, look how straight that line is. And the way I got that straight line was I rolled this onto its side, and I used the felt pen along my workbench, which is a nice flat bench, and got a nice straight line. And look at when I can follow a nice straight line, it works like a charm. So I'm going to take this off this support system and go back to my workbench and start drawing lines and cutting some nice straight pieces now. So all I'm using is that little block, and I'm just laying the pencil on, just holding it on and just scribing a line. It's working just great. Nice even board. That's good. Well, as you can see, the consistency of the cut is a lot better in the second log, and that's because I used the scribing, as I showed you, along the workbench there, and I got a much better cut when I did that. So the first one, the first log was the problem that I created by thinking I had the line straight, but they really weren't as straight as they could have been. So anyway, that concludes my video for today. Cutting a couple of spalted alders on the bandsaw. I'm Colin Cadet for WoodWorkWeb. Thanks for watching.